Hi everyone, are you looking to get started with web development? Have you been interested by a family friend or someone you work with develops websites in their spare time? This video is just going to cover some of the tools that you can use and learn to get started in web development. Now there's a path that you may decide, you will have to decide on which you want to take, and the path is becoming a web developer or becoming someone that can make websites. And a developer is someone that may create tools from scratch, and someone that can make websites is someone that makes pre-built solutions using, WordPress, Squarespace, and Moonfruit, and all of the other tools. And both are completely viable, and it depends on what you want to do. Are you someone that owns a business and needs to maintain a website? You don't need to learn web development in order to do that. You can learn how to use some of the popular tools like WordPress, Squarespace, and Moonfruit, Webflow, and many others. And you can just keep your website up to date. If you're a nightclub owner or you're someone that has a bread and breakfast or a hotel, you can update and use your website with very, very minimal knowledge. And these companies make it absolutely easy and painless as possible to do that. The other solutions which I'll cover in this video are how you may get started with web development, how you would learn some of the basics. I've been a web developer for over 10 years, and I started learning when I was a teenager. I was learning how to create websites using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP. And it's been a very, very steep learning curve to get to using the tools I use today, but some of the tools today are quite difficult to get started in. If you're using websites which are very slick, modern, and they have a lot of things which update and move around, and everyone these days are used to using websites where you can drag and drop and import photos, and things just happen instantly, and there's optimistic feedback. Things just happen in front of you with very little effort that you can tell. But actually doing that is really, really hard, and it takes a lot of time. And that's something as a web developer you spend most of your days doing, whether it's learning how to do that and implementing that, or going through various iterations of that and improving the user experience to be the best. So let's get started with how you may just manage a website. And if you want to do that, you have probably used a website that is run by WordPress. WordPress does get a lot of bad press, and I don't think that is fair. WordPress is a great solution, and it's a great tool if you want very, very little input. But if you have a business but you need multiple people to log in and update things, there's a system for you there already. You don't need to build something custom. It also ships with some really nice themes, so you just need to update your color, upload a logo, and you have something there. And most web host providers actually provide a one-click installer for WordPress. So you click one button and you have a website ready. And that is really, really powerful if you know nothing about web development. Do not completely just disregard WordPress, because it is a completely perfect choice. You just have to make that decision on what looks easiest for you to use. If you do want to learn about all the ins and outs of web development, then decide on which tool looks best for you. So WordPress.com is a great tool. The other tool is Wix, Wix.com. Wix.com is another tool which you sign up. It is hosted, so you point your website and your domain name to these guys, and you can log in and update and do many things like that. And this ships with some really, really nice themes as well. I've not used Wix, but I've heard it advertised on TV and other mediums, so I'm guessing it's becoming quite popular, and it's quite easy to use. I've certainly seen websites powered by it. Squarespace is a great tool, and Squarespace is something which has been around for maybe 5+ years now, but it is a really, really modern approach. It was one of the first sort of hosted CMS tools that was for the modern age. You can get templates which are all responsive and clean, and there's a lot of designers making templates for this who are some of the best. So definitely check out Squarespace if you want a website that looks modern and sleek, and something which if a customer goes onto, you would think that that company has spent money making. So that's another tool that you can use if you just want to build and update and maintain your own website. And Moonfruit is another. And Moonfruit is used by some popular brands, as we can see, and it allows you to get started in a couple of minutes to have a perfect website. Definitely check that out as well. Now I'm going to move on, and I'm going to move on to using Webflow. And Webflow is sort of the next level. Webflow allows you to, precisely design your website, but also export that to using code, and then you can adjust a little bit more. But Webflow is a really cool tool, and it kind of may feel similar to using things like Photoshop if you've used anything like that. But this may be a bit advanced for a lot of people. If you're someone that's been using WordPress for a while and you want to sort of level up, then Webflow is actually a really cool tool to do that. It allows you to sort of understand some of the HTML and the CSS behind it, and then move on to actually writing your own CSS and HTML. So definitely check out Webflow, because that could really advance your knowledge if you're someone that's just new to web development. Then I would like to get started with using just HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and all of the other frameworks. If you'd like to learn web development, web design, then I definitely encourage you to check out Team Treehouse. Team Treehouse, they have a huge library of courses that you can take, ranging from Ruby on Rails, JavaScript, iOS development with Swift and Objective-C, Android development, Java, JavaScript. All of that is on this website, and it is absolutely amazing. The content is great, and the price for this is just amazing as well. If you want to learn how web development works, how you create a website from scratch, then these guys are the guys to learn from. It's a really cool platform. They've got a forum on there as well, so you can ask questions amongst fellow students, and you can learn from one another and advance your skills. And there's a bit of gamification on there as well. You get badges and emblems for certain courses you create, so you can kind of have a visual representation of how your progress is going. And the other one is Code School. And Code School kind of takes a different approach to Treehouse. Treehouse will walk you through creating things from scratch, and you can use their playground. But Code School, they allow you to use the in-browser code editor and take challenges in a lot more in depth than what I've experienced with Treehouse. Now, these guys don't have as many courses as Treehouse does, but their courses are a lot more focused and they're a lot more technical. So I'd say Team Treehouse is a great starting point. Use that for a while. Then I would say it would be probably within your best interest to have a look at Code School. In Code School, they've got a lot of videos on there where they go out and meet people who are founders of things like Ruby on Rails and Basecamp, and talk to those guys and see how they use the cool technology stacks inside of their companies. And they teach you on this website to recreate some of those features, whether it's a following feed, a Twitter feed, or create an upload form. These guys will kind of show you some of that, and these cover React and Angular and some of the cool tools as well, so it's definitely worth checking out. And obviously it's backed by the Plural site, which is again another huge resource of learning. Code School, it is full of lots of different courses, from learning SQL, so if you need to talk to databases, or you want to understand how to create HTML emails, Code School is going to cover it, and it's definitely worth checking out. Then, once you've completed this and you're beginning to get more comfortable with web development, you're understanding how JavaScript works, maybe how talking to a database works, how updating your HTML and CSS together works. Maybe you have a CSS pre-processor like Sass or Less or Stylus, then you will want to maybe level up your skills again. And this is where I come to Egghead. Egghead is an absolute gold mine. Absolute gold mine. Absolute gold mine. This website covers a lot of things. They do have some topics which are for beginners, but their website isn't really aimed at those. This is aimed at people who have maybe been using web development for a while and want to up their skills to learning some of the latest and greatest tech stacks. Whether you want to learn Angular and testing with Angular, or internationalization, i18n, with React and React Native, you can learn that on this website. Use some of the cool new HTML things like Canvas and CSS 3 and 4. You can learn that on this website. So if we have a look at some of the courses that are in production, it maybe give you an insight as to the level that these guys are pitching themselves at. I wouldn't know React or some of the latest JavaScript things or Redux if it wasn't for Egghead. These guys do a phenomenal job, and it's worth every penny. If you are new to web development, if you're a junior web developer, or you're in college or university, Stack Overflow is probably going to save your life many times as a web developer. And a lot of web developers spend a lot of time on Stack Overflow asking and answering questions. And if you've got a problem with coding and you're not sure how to do something, the likelihood that someone else has had that problem is very high, and Stack Overflow is a perfect place to find that answer. So I normally just Google what problem I'm having, and Stack Overflow will always most likely be at the top. So it's definitely worth that you check Stack Overflow out. They have a great website that's full of lots of questions, and you can sort of have a look around, click on a tab, see a certain tag, and then see what questions are going on. And it kind of, in a way, will educate you slightly, because you might see something which has no answers, and you may go, oh, well, maybe I can answer this. Or maybe if you know how to answer half, you might spend some time learning how to do it. Then you know how to answer this person's question, but also you've learned something as well. So it's a really cool learning platform, which I think kind of goes under the radar slightly, but it's definitely worth checking out as well. So this video has just been to sort of give you an idea of the paths that you can take as a web developer, and maybe if you are looking to get into it, what you should be using: WordPress, Moonfruit, Webflow, Wix, Squarespace. Or if you're looking to become a web developer, you will want to look at things like Team Treehouse and Code School and Egghead and Stack Overflow, and those will guide you in certain paths. Have fun, enjoy coding, be happy, and just enjoy it. If you enjoy coding, you can build some really cool things, and you can learn a lot. And it's an industry which every single day you learn something new. So if you're completely new to web development and want a career change, I really encourage you to check out Learning Web Development and how to become a web developer. So enjoy, happy coding, have a great day, everyone.